Good day, wrestling enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, because it's time for Profit Review. Last week, we of course discussed the July 18, 2024 Rustore, and that means today we're here to discuss July 25. So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. Right, so if you don't fully understand how this usually works, basically, with every Rustore that we have, I will return to it 4 weeks later, and basically, did everything match up to expectations? If not, well, we're going to have to discuss that, won't we? So, in short, I'll look at the likes of the Rustore, I'll remember my initial thoughts, I'll talk about the likes of what I thought was looking to be a perfectly fine investment, and then of course I'll talk about the progress of sales, I'll discuss the prices we offered with the abnormal barders, and did I even make any purchases? And then of course we'll get to the point where we'll look at the Rustore and sit there and say, well, did everything match up to expectations? If not, I have to sit here and explain why. Sounds good? Let's get started. Initial thoughts. Well, of course, with the likes of Mob Boss getting an instant continuation, that was very nice to see. And with the likes of last week's video, I of course pointed out that both the burlap skins spiked demand and spiked in price ever so nicely. So, alright, that's cool. Potentially, will we see more continuations? And then, of course, we had the likes of even more skins from the Neon collection from Duck. But this was a bit of a surprise because, alright, with the likes of the locker skins basically wrapping up the previous week, I would have never guessed the likes of these garage doors were going to get picked up. Because these were submitted weeks before this Rustore was even like even here. These were produced like before all of the Neon small boxes, and of course with the likes of the lockers and whatnot. So pleasantly surprised to see it. Then it was a question of, well, how well will these potentially do? And of course, 2 in the same week. Well, there you go. All right then, cool. So looking at all the other skins, perfectly fine batch. Now let's discuss what was I thinking in regards to what was looking to be a nice, investment. And by default, the first thing I was looking at was, well, can't help but assume all of these skins are going to get cheaper at some point. Yeah, of course, as I've been yapping over the past few months, autumn-fall seasonal dip. Even back then, of course, I was like, yeah, I could just probably pick these up for a cheaper price in October time. So I was just going to stick with doing barders. I knew that instantly. But we're looking at all the skins. I looked at like some Mob Boss and I thought, yeah, maybe this is the best thing to take a look at. Surely we'll get a continuation being produced at some point, and surely that could potentially be accepted. So that was the skins I was feeling most enthusiastic for. Now looking at all the other skins, by default, I looked at the likes of the Royal Safari Tier 3, because by default, if we get any Tier 2 armor, hoodie and pants, yeah, that was spike and spike in price. And I know those skin creators were, well, very competent, always putting out very nice skins. We just had to wait and see, basically. And then next, I looked at the likes of the garage doors. Now, I did bring this up many times, and I'll keep bringing it up. We have far too many garage doors. Or rather, we keep getting far too many garage doors. And there's going to be so many more. And, well, of course, there would be another garage door potentially, because it is the Neon collection. And I just thought, well, yeah, okay, potentially, maybe, possibly, we could see some very similar behaviour from what we saw the likes of the Neon small fuel box, and of course with the likes of the full kit locker. The first skins out of their batches, aka the small boxes and the lockers, where the ones that came out after it would cause the initial skins to spike in price, which of course was the small fuel storage and of course the locker, the full kit locker. You get the idea. Basically, this is the first of potentially many more. Maybe both of these will spike in price with every single acceptance. That was a possibility. Would it actually happen? So yeah, I put that as my third choice. And then with the remaining skins, Sleeping Baguette, oh, nice and cozy, wonderful panini warmth. Oh yes. So looking at the likes of this sleeping bag, I thought, okay, yeah, sure, maybe for a goofy idea that could work out quite all right. But it wasn't abnormal, and I wasn't 100% sure. But I did remind myself of other food-related skins, such as a burrito bag and the fries bag, and they actually worked out quite nicely. More specifically, they rose up in price ever so nicely during the likes of the summer of 2024. So I thought, okay, maybe this might be a nice slow progression, and maybe during the likes of the summer 2025, that'll boost up ever so nicely. So I was looking at it and thinking, well, yeah, surely I'm probably better off just sticking with a wilder. So of course I brought that up, didn't I? And with all the other skins, I looked at the likes of the Bombshell Sap. Yep, it was another Bombshell skin to be accepted. Basically, every 3 to 4 months, TGG will get a 100% guaranteed acceptance, And, well, for Bombshell, it was the Sap this time. And Saps tend to be fairly reliable investments. They don't tend to go down in price too much. And when times are very good, Saps rise in price ever so nicely. And the summer of 2024 definitely proved that. So looking at that, I thought, all right, maybe it'll dip down in price a fair bit. I don't imagine it'll go down too low. I could pick up a whole bunch of these and then, in the further future, flip them and sell them for a better profit. It was definitely doable. So yeah, that looked to be a fairly reliable looking skin. And then with the other remaining skins, such as those weapons and whatnot, well, Deep Monster AK-47, I saw this in game. It looked very, very nice, but it was an AK-47, and you know what I'm like. By default, can't trust them. And with the Ronin LR300 skins weren't exactly holding up very well at this specific point either, and still aren't. So yeah, both of these other weapon skins I just wasn't feeling super confident in. It is what it is, I'm sorry to say, but it's just pattern routine, I guess you could say. So that was my initial thoughts in regards to the predictions. How did things progress in terms of sales? So, hopping over to here, with the likes of the first 24 hours of sales, as you can see, these skins sold quite nicely. The garage doors doing over 10,000 subscribers. The hat doing quite nicely of just about 7,000 subscribers. And then the Sleeping Baguette with just barely over 7,000 subscribers. So, we can clearly see that these are holding up quite nicely in terms of interest. But it was a matter of, were we going to see actual continuations and whatnot? For the garage doors, yes, that did happen. We had the likes of Core Room Door, we had the Loot Room Door, and further later down the line we also had the likes of the Exit Garage Door. Duck was producing the content. Were we going to see a continuation? I was definitely questioning it, but was it going to happen? Well, with a string of luck in regards to the many acceptances of the various neon skins over the course of 2024, I was feeling pretty confident, so I definitely had to consider that with the likes of the Abnormal Barders. And with the likes of Mob Boss, well, I didn't actually see any continuations from the skin creator at this point, so a little bit awkward. And we were feeling optimistic that the skin creator for the likes of this Baguette was going to produce some other bread-related skins, so yeah, things were looking okay. But wow, Royal Safari Tier 3, you really weren't selling that much. All the better for it to potentially rise up in price in the future, maybe? Yeah, low sales could definitely cause the likes of these to rise up ever so nicely if we ever did get those continuations. Did we get them that week? No. We had another weapon skin, so that's definitely going to be something we'll bring up in a bit. So, alright, that's what the progression of sales looked like. What did it look like when we did the Abnormal Barders? So here we are. Now, with both the garage doors here, they have both done over 22,000 subscribers. The Sleeping Baguette had become the third most bought skin with 16,000 plus subscribers. That Mob Boss Boonie hat did very well with 15,000 subscribers. Poncho, not so much. Maybe because it's selling for 50 cents more. But yeah, things were looking pretty interesting. So let's actually bring up the likes of how much we offered for all the skins. So, when it came to the likes of the neon garage doors, for both of them, I basically went with 90 cents to $1.30. I wasn't feeling that confident that these garage doors were like guaranteed to be alright. I felt that maybe a lot more people are wiser to the idea that, okay, yeah, sure, they very likely might spike up a bit, but it's not going to stay like that forever. So, and there were going to be more garage doors, oh, for sure. So, I went with 90 cents to $1.30. It felt better to go and play it safe. I didn't imagine these were going to hold up very well. I knew there was going to be a lot more Twitch drops on the horizon, and that potentially meant, a lot more streamer skins as garage doors. So yeah, that's what I went with, and yeah, I felt confident in that. Then we had the likes of the Mob Boss clothing. So both the boonie hat and the poncho, I went with 70 cents to $1. I didn't really know how it's going to go down, but I couldn't help but assume that over the course of the next few months, during the likes of October, I'll be picking these up potentially like $1 each. That was the expectation. I wonder if it actually matched up to that. Then, of course, we had the likes of the Royal Safari Tier 3. And both of these, well, looking at the amount of sales they had, which was just barely about 7,000 subscribers on the night, I was like, well, I didn't see an instant continuation with the likes of Boots and Gloves or Tier 2 armor or Tier 3 armor for Royal Safari. I was just like, well, I don't really trust it that much. I don't think it's going to hold up very well. So I looked at it and I went with 70 cents to $1 for both of those too. Now, for the remaining skins, which weren't abnormal, we had the likes of the Sleeping Baguette. Now, I did bring this up looking at the previous sleeping bags from last year. As I mentioned, initially, the likes of both the Burrito Bag and the fries bag, they dropped in price quite a fair bit. And you could have picked them up for a much cheaper price, and if you held on to them, waited until the next summer, you'd have been able to make a lot of profit. So I took that into consideration, and I decided to only offer 80 cents to $1.10, because I assumed, yeah, it's going to probably drop off a bit, but I'd pick them up, hold on to them, and sell them for a much better price in the future. So, yep, that's how I went about that. Bombshell sap. So, looking at all the saps at that point, I was feeling confident it was going to only go down by a little bit. Sap Skins, especially during the likes of the summer at that point, doing very, very well. All the Sap Skins that came out somewhat recently, doing ever so nicely. So yeah, okay, it might dip in price a fair bit, but yeah, I'll be able to sell it for a higher price in the future eventually. We had the Ronin Sap at that point, which was only down by 2% just about a month ago. So yeah, things seem reasonable. I wasn't sure if we're going to see any more Sap Skins on the horizon, but I didn't really think it was going to matter too much. We don't see that many every single year. As you can see, it's been pretty pattern-based with like 6 a year. So, okay, I felt reasonable to offer between $1 to $1.40, because I thought maybe the lowest point would be like $1.60. And then with the likes of the remaining weapon skins, these two, I just didn't have any faith in them. 60 cents to 80 cents, very straightforward. It felt like an inevitability that they're going to drop off. Sad to say, but this is AK-47 skins and LR-300 skins. It's the same behaviour all the time, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's how everything went down. Now, did I actually make any purchases after doing all of these barters? No. I didn't do that. I felt confident in the future I'd be picking up all of these skins for a cheaper price with my buy orders. And now, we will discuss the likes of the outcomes. So, did everything match up to expectations? And if not, I have to sit here and explain why, as I've said like 3 times already this video. Right then, so the neon garage doors, they are now down by 40% each basically. Oh dear, what happened? Well, we did get a continuation. That's the funny thing. We did get a continuation for this set. We got 1 garage door. Now, there's been some gaps. So we had a week break in between here, and I think we've had 2 weeks since this rust door where we had the core door. Now, when that was accepted, these did both spike up a fair bit. They went up close to around $3 each. Then it went down again. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but let me just remind myself, how many garage doors did we have after these two? Because, well, yeah, we had those literally just come out. Literally just came out for free during the likes of our very special August Twitch drops. And again, with the likes of these Twitch drops, they do take away a lot of the attention from some of the newer skins. And of course, we also had Ultramarine, which turned into a pretty, how do I say this? Fairly popular collection of deplorables with continuous acceptances. So that got a lot of attention. These got a lot of attention and were given away for free. These garage doors, unfortunately, just lost a lot of attention and just have been dropping down more and more and more. It's quite sad to see, but did I even bring up the point of, do you even need a garage door that says up? Do you even need a garage door that says going down? You know, like, did you need anything that was going to direct people what to do? Like, are you basically guiding people who are raiding you where to go? This was definitely a point that's brought up to a lot of people. And as you can see, people really don't care for it. Whilst it's sold nicely, I can sit there and say that. Unfortunately, these prices have not held up very well. So it is what it is. So, yeah, awkward. But at this specific time, we're literally a week away from September. You shouldn't be surprised to see all of these skins already going down in price, and this was to be expected. So those barter prices of 90 cents to $1.30, that worked out quite all right. But could that still go lower? Let's go take a look at both of them on the Steam market right now. With the likes of the down garage door, we have 145 listed at $1.58 as its cheapest price. The buy orders went all the way up to $1.50, still holding up quite strong at the moment. Will that last forever? We shall see. And then with the likes of the up garage door, with just a little bit more listed, it's basically the same thing. Yeah, both of them have the same reasonable amount of interest. Oh no, this seems to have a little bit less buy orders. Interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised they probably drop down to about $1.30. Give it another month or so. It feels like an inevitability. Maybe if we do see another garage door being accepted, but again, do people even care for the idea of, you know, instructing others where to look around and whatnot? Oh, that's a cool looking batch of L96s. I mean, I saw them last week. We're talking about exit door, loot room door. We shall see. We shall see. But I don't think people care enough for it. It's unfortunately so. It is what it is. That's dropped off. That was expected. Moving on. Sleep and Baguette. You did go down in price, but not much. So yeah, this went down. I think its lowest was about 20%. And yeah, since then it's just been okay. Like that's it. There's really not much to say. It does a reasonable amount of sales every single day, but it's just not really moving that much. When you look at the listings, you might notice that there's 155 of these listed above $2. Okay. I'm not sure why someone feels the need to do that, but just wanted to point this out to everyone. It's not struggling. It's just kind of there. And if this is it at its worst, I mean, I certainly am not going to complain. But I really don't know why he's listed 155. That doesn't feel smart. All right, anyway, so this is basically matched up to expectations. If its lowest point was negative 20%, yeah, can't complain. Pick these up for a cheaper price around October time, maybe? Sure, give it a shot. Wait until the summer next year? Sure. And hopefully you'll make some lovely profit. We did see a continuation for likes this bread collection, I guess you could say. We got the likes of the double barrel shotgun, but that was funny because we already had a Baguette themed double barrel shotgun as a Twitch drop from Crowley literally the previous year, but that's for a discussion with the future profit review. Now with the likes of Mob Boss, I mean, I'm kind of not surprised to see this is doing very nicely and this isn't doing so well. And I could give you a very, very, very quick example to showcase. Basically, when we got the Mob Boss burlap clothing being accepted, a certain boonie hat rose up in price ever so nicely. But yeah, it's fairly pricey because, of course, it went so well with the likes of the burlap clothing. Now that we had a Mob Boss boonie hat, this lost, quite a lot of attention because at one point this is selling for $11, and this basically took over because it's a much more affordable option. This has been sitting there ever so comfortably on the Steam market, graciously retaining its value, graciously rising up in value. It just can't do any wrong. We haven't seen anyone trying to dump a load of stock. It's just been sitting there. It's just being appreciated. That's cool. But what about the poncho? What went wrong? Well, it's not like we don't have any other black ponchos, and do you even notice the details well enough to see that this is like some sort of blazer? Probably not. It's not like this is ruined, but it certainly could be better. Sold for $2. Now it sits here at $1.10. And what were the prices we suggested? Well, we did sit there and say maybe we'd only go up to about $1. Well, there you go. I did buy a few of these. I did remove my buy order. So with the likes of the Bernie hat, well, I don't think I was fully correct with that. That's performed much better than expected. But with the likes of this, it basically matched up to expectations. So, all right, I feel like I've given a good enough explanation as to why that's done so well. What with the likes of the gentleman's boonie. But is it always going to be like that forever? Will Mob Boss always be like very in demand or not? I will bring this up. The skin creator, he did produce a continuation, but it's hoodie and pants. Now, this hasn't been accepted yet, I'll say. It hasn't been accepted yet. But it's been quite some time now. I'm not sure what Face Punch is wanting, but it might not be this. I think they're probably happy with the skins they accepted. They're probably not going to accept any more. It is what it is. Then you didn't produce these quick enough, I'm sorry to say. It is what it is. But he is a new skin creator, and keep an eye out for the future skins he'll be producing because, hey, I'm pretty sure he has some other fun ideas. Right then, so what else do we want to take a look at? We want to look at the likes of the Bombshell Sap. Now, this has been doing perfectly fine. Yes, a little bit later on, we did have the likes of the Quarantine Sap coming out, but I don't really think we'll be seeing any more Sap skins being accepted this year, and if we do, not that many more. And yeah, I mean, it's there. It's just doing okay. Nothing wrong to say. It's perfectly fine. 57 listings isn't like an absurd amount. It's good. It matched up to expectation. The buy order of $1.45 here is doing okay. I mean, I haven't got really much to say. It's just fine. And lo and behold, the likes of these two weapons here, both of them did go down pretty hard. With the likes of the AK, that did, of course, go down to less than $1 at one point, and it still is, I believe. Yes, indeed. And then we have the likes of the Ronin LR300. It isn't below $1, but it's still close to $1. It just doesn't have the interest. The buy orders just simply aren't there. It's unfortunate because both of the weapon skins do look very nice, but AK-47s, we have an abundance of options, and with the likes of the LR300, it seems people just don't care enough for the weapon itself. even though we have those buffs, I guess it's still not enough compared to the AK, so it is what it is. And then we have Royal Safari Tier 3. Just want to bring this up real quickly. In terms of the recent submissions from the skin creators, we didn't get Tier 2 or hoodie and pants or boots and gloves. We got other weapon skins. Alright, that's fine, but like, wouldn't you want to make more clothing and armor? It confuses me, but hey, it's up to them. So with them not producing that, and of course no more acceptances, that's obviously gone down by a third and a bit more, down 36 and down 41%. So, oh dear, yeah. So me playing it safe, suggesting to only go between 70 cents to $1.10. I mean, that turned out correct, and I do believe I have removed the borders, at least for the chest plate, if I can recall. This is still holding up okay, but I still haven't seen the continuations for the clothing armor. Awkward. So, yeah, this Rustor was very predictable, I guess you could say. Only one thing I was kind of wrong on, but everything else is just, like, very straightforward. This has been a very straightforward episode. Normally I'm still yapping over and over again, but, like, I don't even think I'm going to have that many interesting, outstanding chapters for the description and whatnot. Everything just matched up to expectations. Wow, well, there you go. Cool, I guess. So, with the likes of next week's video, which of course will be August 1st, 2024, we have the likes of some interesting picks here, yes, indeed. And, yeah, we'll be talking about how everything turned out for the likes of that. So, yeah. I'm sorry to end at a point like this, but there's not really much else to say. Ta-da! So, I've said this in previous episodes. I hope you're starting to notice, like, themes. I hope you're starting to notice how certain things kind of keep happening over and over again. I would also like to ask if you happen to have picked up a bunch of these skins with your barders. Feel free to comment below. Feel free to tell me if you actually bought some of these skins, and if you're happy with how things turned out, I guess you could say. So that's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it, and have a lovely week. Thumbs up. All good. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.